Welcome to today's spontaneous transmission. What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? It's kind of cold where I am. It's starting to get autumnish. So brr, brr. So theme of today is ridiculousness and how ridiculousness can help you be free from pain, free from suffering, and manifest everything that you already are, or shift into your highest possible freaking everything. So there is a dance field that is called karmic heritage that needs to be defragmented. It's also called miasma, and it basically feels like shit. This feels like shit because in the process of you consciousness becoming everybody everywhere all at once, you experience the lower density projection of yourself being all everybody everywhere all at once, but not being able to connect yourself with your everything. Yes, with you, with I am as everything. So you then are embodied in molecules, animals, peoples, and you're doing all kind of like evolving through the horizontal plane. Okay, that is a lower density field. And here, there's a lot of and just general BDSM. I don't even know what does it mean for sure. Like bondage, dominance, submission, dog eat dog, spank my booty, I'm going to be unworthy and you are the king and the master and the god of me, so I'm going to crawl on the floor and be like unworthy and you're going to be, and then I'm going to feel superior and you're going to be my slaves. So this is like a form of when we say shadow work, right? It's like recognizing these tendencies and being like, yeah, like whatever. So, shadow work. Let's make shadow work fun again. Shadow works. I hope this works. The microphone and stuff. Okay, let me. So the shadow work is like filthy, gruesome, shameful, ego-tripping, prideful, and all kind of role play where we're going to like compete who's going to be on top of whom. So it's like your Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something like that. We're always like It's always the yin and yang because it's always you and you fighting for dominance, and then when somebody got you in a clinch, you're like, and then you ride them, but then they ride you. And so it's a horsey ride of, the government riding you, and then your patriarchal ancestry is riding you, and then you have to break free, and then you become a rebel, and then you become announcing your sexual freedom or rebellion, and then you're getting burned alive also. So while you're getting burned alive for announcing your sexual freedom or whatever, there will be also feelings of just cringe. A lot of cringe. Then the body memory, the karmic memory, remembers this cringe, and the cringe feels like shit. Right? And here's the kid just going like, oh, daddy, daddy. And it's cringing because the emotion is like, I'm not okay here. Okay? So that emotion is very valid. when you're being burned alive or whatever's happening, it's a valid emotion. It's like, fuck, this hurts, I don't like this. Okay, so when I was retrieving specifically these memories of being burned alive, it's like 3 days of cringe. It's just like, so that don't feel nice. But then when you also have the vision of what happened and how gruesomely you have been killed, or how you have been gruesomely slicing people up with knives and katanas, and then you just need to actually do something that's a little hack that we're going to introduce right now. And this is Quentin Tarantino, yeah. So look, you're watching these movies of Quentin Tarantino and they're fabulously amusing. Because when you are participating in the movie as pure consciousness, the observer of the movie, and people are like busting their heads with like katanas and like whatnot, like, and they're shooting, and it's all so silly, and there is this uncanny humor. Is like what was the movie with Quentin Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson going to this being in suits, and they're being like these mobsters, basically coming into this house with these boys eating some cheeseburgers, and then Samuel L. Jackson is having this theatrical everything, and then eating the burger and then killing the boys. And it's almost like so not nice. Like, I don't know the word. Like, it's like monstrous, right? It's like, But then you're watching the movie, you're being highly entertained, okay? And so this is to explain how your body reacts when you're being harmed, being burned alive, being told you can't, okay? And many times this is like the karma of our societies or governments or parents that are telling us you can't, which is also cringe because it's diminishing your I amness, because the I amness is I am, so there's like nothing that can't, like. But in the lower density field of the like world of objects in relationship to objects, we have a different paradigm. We have a different logic of how things work. So because things are not popping into existence directly from our thoughts, they're not being crystallized in this high frequency, you are occupying the high frequency wavelength, you crystallize something immediately. It's all automagic. Here, there's a latency before you start to think, and then you really decide, and then you really put your will into that, and then if you raise your frequency, things are going to start to pop into existence directly. But these lower programs, they're keeping you in a lower offset, in a lower frequency bandwidth. So then you can also start to create a narrative around you not having the power. So there's a kid saying, dad, and then if there's no someone to tell you, yo, it's gonna work out, you can do this, come on, then you're gonna be like, I don't know, I don't want to try, it doesn't work for me, I don't want to try, now it doesn't work for me, I don't want to try, it's like, my story is a story of like, I don't have love, I don't deserve love, I'm an addict, and blah 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 blah. So, and then people become identified actually with their story that they're an addict. But they're an addict in a lower frequency identification, where now this program is perpetuating their reality. If you drop that, you go to high frequency and you say, okay, I am, so I can, so there's nothing that I can't. So to get out of the lower frequency program, you have to feel it and see it, and then transmute it. Now, when your body feels this fear and restriction of the I am, the cringe, it feels bad. And this is also reactivity of how this form evolves. Your animal, your body evolves to protect itself from harm, because objects can collide. So, I don't want that, right? And you want to then escape the pain, so you don't want to feel it. This is the key here. This is the emphasis of this transmission. When you feel cringe, you're uncomfortable with the cringe, instead of face the cringe and dissolve the cringe, go into the pain dissolves. You're instinctually trying to get away from it. Now, if you're choosing to watch Quentin Tarantino, you can laugh at it. It doesn't feel painful. So this is the hack. If you have memory of cringe, some kind of trauma that you need to transmute so you can dissolve the story of the lower bandwidth, so you can be yourself in a higher bandwidth where you are omnipotent, almighty. Okay, you're everything. The pain only feels bad if your body is telling you that something outside of you is inducing this pain, and then you feel fight or flight. Okay, but if you are choosing, if you're choosing that, and I will give a couple of examples, then you can also be like, haha, it tickles, like a Quentin Tarantino movie. So let's say one big theme in the Dark Night of the Soul, or defragmenting these cringes, is the Dark Night of the Soul, when these cringes are coming up for defragmentation, but the body starts to freak out because you want to get out of your body. Okay, but if you're like, oh, this is me, this, the energetic memory, the karma, the cringe is me, you can be like, come on baby, don't feel the reaper. I would go and imagine a cartoon where my physicality is being killed in 6 million ways. So I'm getting blasted by a bazooka, then I'm getting stabbed by knives, then I'm getting eaten by little skulls and ants and worms, and then being smeared by poo and being burned by fire. But if I'm making this picture in my mind, because this is the mind construct, your body, your reality is a mind, is a mental construct, holographic mental construct. If you're making yourself dead in a cartoon by being punished, raped, beaten, smeared by poo-poo, and all the other cringy, uncomfortable, you can feel the cringe in your body, but it's like lull, okay? So there's a way to lull through your cringe, through whatever is the miasmic, the karmic footprint that you are transmuting for this multiplayer game, arena, collective consciousness, whatever, right? Now let's talk about suicide. Let's talk about this tendency where it comes to the awareness, this thought, no, this like it's life is not worth living, I don't want to live anymore, I want to kill myself, what is the purpose of this, there's too much suffering and I don't want to do it. Now your natural ego will try to deflect these cringy, uncanny thoughts, because it's like, why am I having these thoughts, it's like so weird, and then you are not allowing yourself to be able to fully transmute them. Okay? If you're like, okay, how would I, so let's imagine this, if I'm in a Tarantino movie, how would I kill myself? Well, I would kind of like maybe kill myself like that, or I would kill myself by, I don't know, poking my eyes out with like knives and shit like that, right? And you see, when you actually exaggerate the cringe, you're taking your mind, and it's because mind has destructive and creative potential. And if you're working with full polarity of creation destruction, you're the alchemist, you're the transformer, you are the one that transmutes whatever is written in this story. If you're not accepting the full extent of the right hand and the left hand paths, or whatever that is, or full annihilation and full creativity, the annihilation becomes dust to dust, it becomes the black hole. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Everything gets eaten by little skulls that eat each other up and then just become dust and then just become nothing. The full creatorship becomes like unified singularity field of light. So just like light. See, these are branches, they're disappearing, they're dissolving into the singularity, into light. There is no more form. Here on the black side is also no more form, but everything goes into entropy. So now when you hold in your left hand the darkness and the light in your right hand, you put them together, what you got yourself, a yin and yang start to spin, you're transmuting realities, okay? So in transmuting realities, take the shit to the extreme, because what is the worst possible scenario that can happen to you? Okay, you were raped, you were burned, you were killed, you were la 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 la, we all were. But these are our puppets, these are our theater characters that were annihilated. So if you take the annihilation, that feels cringy because it's a memory of somebody doing something to my body that I don't like, and when I get into it, I get into this fight or flight and I can't transmute the energy. What if I go into the energy and be like, yo, let's make this actually more exaggerated. Let's make it a cartoon, you know, like Roadrunner and the Coyote just blowing each other up with dynamite, and they're every time that the next cartoon they're still alive, because you don't die, you're quantumly immortal. If you even die in one timeline, you can respawn in another timeline, just pick up the video game from where you saved it. Okay, so the problem is not if you killed or you got killed, the problem is if you were in the process of being like killed or hurt or molested and then it got stuck. So you're gonna take the bullying, okay, we all been through like one or other form of like diminishing self through like somebody's bullying. Well, what if you shrink yourself into a little mouse and the bully just cut you up in the smallest little pieces with this like butcher saw or something, and now you are dust already. So now what can happen to you? You're pure consciousness, you're liberated. Exaggerate death to the max and 6 million ways to die. And then if you were the bully, okay, or the killer, then okay, forgive yourself. Just take the saw and the axe and be the axe murderer. Okay, so allow because whatever somebody did to you, it was you, and whatever you did to someone else, it was also you doing it to you. So allow both extremes, the most extreme possible scenario in your imagination, to see it happening to you from the first person perspective, and you doing it from the first person perspective. I promise you this will liberate you from any type of karmic footprint. And I have here bullet pointed the worst types, and I've been through them all, and I promise you, you are immortal. So have fun.